What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're gonna be installing the dual calipers for the 350Z. This is gonna be a Mavericks Motorsports kit. I got it from my boy Cody out in Hawaii. Shout out to you, Cody. It's been a while since I've had it. I think like over a year now. But I'm finally gonna install it. As you guys know, the hydro is installed, but I'll be installing the lines probably in this video as well. I already did one side just so I kind of know the idea of how to do it. So if you look right there, it looks super sick. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do it on this side. Alright guys, so you're gonna go ahead and take apart the brakes. There's gonna be two 19mm bolts holding in the caliper. Then you're gonna pull off this rotor, and then you're gonna have to unbolt the axle, take off this axle nut. Just this one here. We're gonna go ahead and take off this cotter pin. Alright, cotter pin out. Put that on the side. Now you're gonna take off this 32mm bolt right here. Now I have to go underneath the car and unbolt it. It's gonna be two 14mm. So I'm pretty much unbolting the hub from the back of this knuckle here, as well as the two e-brake or parking brake bracket and the line holder right here on the bottom. So the two studs right there are 17mm. This middle one right here on the bottom is for the e-brake cable. That one's a 14mm, and then the the four hub bolts in the back are going to be 17mm, which is what I'm taking off right now. Yeah. So to remove the parking brake, all you're going to do is turn these holder, whatever you want to call them, these spring-loaded pins 90 degrees and hold the pressure and come out slowly. Yeah, you do the same to the other side. All right, so now it's gonna come out. You either can take it apart or you can keep it all together. I like to keep it all together. There's a little pin right here, that silver pin. You need to push that out. So what I did was stick a screwdriver right here. You just need something that can push the pin out. So I'm just gonna take the nose of this, tap it out just like that. Okay. Go ahead and take off the brake shield. Yeah, all that comes out as one piece. You can take that bracket off. So this is the Mavericks Motorsports dual caliper bracket for the 350Z. Go ahead and place this on. This is the back side, yeah. For some reason it hits this parking brake bracket right here. I'm not too sure if it's supposed to do that or not, but what I did was I just grinded down the bottom edge of this, because as you guys can see, this doesn't sit flush against the actual knuckle. So, and if you put the knuckle flat, the holes don't line up. Now we're gonna go ahead and trace about right where we're gonna cut it. We finally got our lines after Christine was over here confusing herself. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and cut this out. Remember not to cut these parts off, because then you won't be able to align your parking brake back on. I already made that mistake on the other side. Luckily I had an extra dust shield laying around, so I cut it correctly. Everything's all cut and trimmed, so hopefully it'll fit. Now we're gonna go ahead and put everything back together as Christine figures it out. Yeah. Okay, then you put that brake cable back in, that bracket. So I'm just gonna make sure that the rotor fits. All right, so the rotor does fit. I'm gonna go ahead in the back and just torque down everything to spec and bolt up the calipers after we put on the rotor. So simple. All right, so we're gonna install some axle spacers in here. Now, the reason being is because you don't wanna stretch your axle out too much when you put these the caliper brackets in. So if you see There's a good amount of gap now. I mean, you should be fine. You can run it. A lot of people run it without axle spacers, but I have axle spacers, so I'm gonna go ahead and run them anyway, especially because I have some camber in the rear, just like that. Then take your bolt. Keep in mind you will need some longer bolts now. Alright guys, so here it is, it's finished. We got it bolted up, so let me just show you. So the kit comes with longer bolts and spacers for the original calipers that goes between the knuckle and the caliper. It comes with shorter bolts for the second caliper. So what you want to make sure after you get everything installed, that there's no binding, that the caliper is not hitting any part of the rotor. Make sure any of the bolts coming through the back end is not touching the backside of the rotor itself. And then make sure that you can spin this freely without anything binding. That's a must. So I'd say that this is a successful install on these dual calipers. Now I'm gonna go ahead and run the lines. So this is gonna be the line setup right here. Everything is dash 3AN fittings, and it's all steel braided lines all the way through, just to make everything simple. So let's start off from the hydro. We have this 90-degree bend here, running all the way. I didn't order enough lines, so I had to order an extra one. But anyway, this is a union all the way through. It's gonna come to the back of the car. Then we have a tee off right here, both 3AN fittings all the way to 10mm banjo fitting on both ends. That's gonna run to the calipers over there. Alright, so the brake line is coming out of that hole right there, and then I routed it right around the bag, and it's coming to the banjo fitting right there. And it's not touching the bag and the bracket. I have it zip tied to that upper arm over there. So it's coming out of that hole around the bag bracket. It's zip tied to the upper arm there, and it's coming around, and it's coming straight to this banjo fitting right there. Alright guys, so now we got the dual calipers all set up. We ran the hard lines as you guys seen. So now we're gonna go ahead and bleed the system. So there's gonna be tons of air in it because there's no fluid in it right now, so that's gonna take a little while. But pretty much all we're gonna do is fill up the reservoir right there, pump it. She's gonna hold it. I'm gonna crack one side, bleed it all the way till there's no air coming out. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so open it up, pour a little bit in there to fill it up. Alright guys, so we just finished up bleeding the caliper. This is the second caliper right here, and this is the original one right there. As you guys can see, that looks super sick. So as we come in the car, you can see we have the steel braided line running under here, running along the console, and that runs through the cubby hole in the back of here, straight through the trunk. This is my bracket setup right here. I do need to make it a little bit more rigid, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys like that video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. It really helps people find our video. If you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscription button and hit the notification button as well to be part of the notification gang. Alright? Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright, peace out and stay good.